Hey, y'all give me just a minute. We live now on Facebook. Have Facebook. Hi, YouTube. Y'all give me just a minute. I'm going to get Twitter up. Oh, man. Let me turn that light off. Give me a minute to get Twitter up and to get that light off. And then we can get started. This is going to be, I'm telling you right now, this is going to be, unless I get a whole bunch of questions, this is going to be a super short, a really short nightly report to the people. I only have a few things to report, and I just want to do this because I feel like if I make a promise that I'm gonna do it every night, I'm gonna try my best to make it every night. I know it's not a hard promise, and I know I was absent yesterday. I want to talk a little bit about that yesterday. Why I didn't do the report yesterday. So if y'all just give me just a second, I'm trying to boot up my other device, my last device, so I can get Twitter live. And in the meantime, let me say hi to people who are watching. I know some of y'all check in and then y'all check out. So I want to give you a shout out when I see your name come up. If I don't actually do the shout out by name, I'm going to try to hit the wave button. And so Gary Burton, I want to say what's up to you. Jenny Arnold, how you doing? Teresa Cutright Ice. I'm glad y'all here. This other device is taking too long. I don't want to leave my Twitter people out either, you know? So why don't we just chit chat? So I was watching MSNBC. We'll just kill a little time, you know? So I was watching MSNBC before I came down here to my little office. And it was MSNBC, Chris Haynes. Y'all watch MSNBC? Anybody watch Chris Haynes? Y'all do? Hey, Lisa Tillman, how you doing? Hey, Camille. I'm just killing time until I can get my Twitter feed going. And so if y'all watch MSNBC, he had Bernie Sanders on, right? Now, a lot of people think that I'm against Bernie Sanders. I'm not against Bernie Sanders all the way. He has some good ideas, but he was on there, and once again, Bernie Sanders cannot say that he supports lifting immunity for gun manufacturers. And I just think that's wrong. You know, cigarette manufacturers, and he uses this argument. He said, well, why should they be allowed to be sued? They're making a product that's doing exactly what it's designed to do. It's designed to kill people and to harm people. And so he has no problem with it, them continuing to have immunity. I think that's wrong. You know, cigarettes were designed to do what they did, and people were allowed to sue them. Automobiles did what they were allowed to do, and people were allowed to sue the automobile makers. Now, people will say, well, wait a minute, it's because it's got some constitutional protections behind it. That's why we shouldn't be able to sue them. That's why we shouldn't be able to sue gun manufacturers. I say that's BS, because you got a First Amendment right to free speech and to free assembly and to free association. But guess what? If I say something that's reckless and that's untrue, you can sue me, even though I have some constitutional protection behind my speech. And so I think Bernie Sanders, the initials of Bernie Sanders is BS. And I think on at least that issue of gun manufacturer immunity, I think Bernie Sanders is full of BS. And I think he's wrong. And, Bernie definitely wants to be the president in 2020. And I don't see how anybody can vote for him in good faith until he changes his position on immunity for gun manufacturers. So that's my position. And I didn't plan to go there. I was just saying that to kill time. So I almost got Twitter up. Bear with me. I can normally talk and do something else at the same time. Just ask Honey about that. That's just a jokey joke if you watch it, Honey. but I want to get this up and going. And you know what happens when you turn a new device on? When you turn the device on after it's been turned off, and then you get all these updates and all these messages and a whole bunch of stuff. And so it's stopping me from going live. But I believe I've got it up and running right now. And it says I am live now. So I am going to, oh, I'm already live. Okay. So I'm going to actually try something different. Now, if you've been watching me, you know that I've been struggling to figure out how can I go live on these 3 different platforms, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter at the same time. And I hadn't been able to figure it out. And somebody said, why don't you just, you're using a laptop in front of you, why don't you just put the devices, sort of lean them up against the, so why don't you just sort of lean them up against the laptop computer and see if that works. And so I believe I've got everything working. And I've only been doing this for about a week, y'all. And so I think we got everything together. I think we have been joined now by Brenda Early and by Karen. I don't know if I gave a shout out to Karen. So I want to give this is my nightly report to the people. I broadcast it live. I'm trying to do it every night at about in between 9 and 10 p.m. And it'll just be a daily wrap up of what happened today on the campaign trail. So on Facebook and on Twitter, I've been trying to section out any posts that have to do with the campaign. So I started them out with today on the campaign trail. And I ran into some people yesterday, and this is where I want to start. After my town hall meeting, I'm going to come back to the town hall meeting, but after the town hall meeting, I went downtown to, it was April 19th, which is 419. So our area code, telephone area code for most people is 419 in Toledo. And so it was 419 day in Toledo. And so after I had my town hall meeting, I ran downtown and well, I didn't actually physically run. Y'all know what I'm saying. I got in my car, went downtown because I wanted to talk to Teresa Fetter, who was running for state senate against Michael Ashford, and she's having these weekly sessions downtown, and they end at 8:30. So the town hall meeting was due to end at 8, you know, and by the time I finished talking to different people and letting the people know that I was done with the facility, so I got downtown. Bottom line, Teresa Fetter was gone, so I did not get to talk to her yesterday, but several people came up to me and they was like, hey, Nate Livingston, today on the campaign trail. So at least for a few people, it's catching on. And so this is my nightly report to the people where I just want to sort of bring people in and take you into what happened today on the campaign trail. So, so yesterday I had a town hall meeting. The crowd wasn't as large as I had hoped it would be, but considering I didn't spend a penny on advertising, I didn't even do one of these Facebook ads that you can do for 15, 20, 25 bucks. It was all word of mouth. I did do flyers. I did pass out more than 200 of them throughout the community, but they had information on them and they had a phone number. And so I don't feel bad that people didn't necessarily turn out in tremendous numbers because they still got the information. And hopefully some of them have now. I had a whole bunch of people asked to become friends on Facebook and today. And so maybe they didn't feel like coming, you know, out of their homes to the town hall meeting, and maybe they joined up, or maybe they just took the information. Maybe they'll remember my name or remember the issue. And so I feel good about it. So the town hall meeting did come out, and it let me know some things, because I plan to have another town hall meeting in the first week of May over in East Toledo at the East Toledo Library. And so that one I will do some hi Crystal. That one I will do some advertising, some radio advertising, and so we should have a lot of fun. So after the town hall meeting, I went downtown, tried to see Teresa Fetter, didn't see her, ran into a lot of good people out and about. down in the Arts District here in Toledo. And one person who I ran into, I hope he don't mind me saying his name. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't. He's the director. He's a public figure. He's the director of diversity and inclusion in the city of Toledo. And you can look him up if you want to. Maybe I shouldn't say his name because I don't want people to say, he said your name, which gave the impression that you are endorsing his campaign or that you're working with him. And I'm not saying that. So I won't say the brother's name, but it was good to talk to him. And I didn't talk to him about politics or the campaign. But one thing I saw him do, and I mentioned it on Facebook, but I'll tell it again tonight, was they had different food trucks down there. Some of the people were from Maumee, and I think one was from Toledo. And I saw this brother go out of his way. Hi, Darlene. Hi, Danita. Hi, Stephanie. He went out of his way to encourage these people from Maumee to bring their food truck and to actually bring their business to Toledo. Now, he's not in the business, he's not the director of economic development or business development or anything like that. He's over diversity. And so it just so happens that one of the business owners that I saw him do it to was a woman on a small business that's owned by a woman. And so I thought, well, that's diversity and that's inclusion. And if he could bring them, into Toledo, wouldn't that be a great thing? We need more businesses. Now, if he had have been able to talk to her about getting a spot over in the mighty 45th State House District, that would have been even better. But so that happened. So after that, I went over to a place called Vicky's Bar and Grill. Now, I don't want to get myself into trouble, and I don't want to get them in trouble. Again, when I mention somebody's name or I mention a business, I'm not using my campaign to promote businesses, which is sort of a no-no in ethical terms. We see that with Donald Trump on the national level. So I'm not using my platform and my campaign to endorse any businesses or to promote any businesses. Likewise, if I mention somebody's name or somebody's business, I'm not saying that that person or that company endorses me or is even working with me. And so so I went over to Vicky's Bar and Grill. Now, I mention that because in the city of Toledo, in the Black activist community, there's a lot of talk about this particular business. And so I went to check it out. I had to see for myself. I don't know why, but I thought this was in a whole nother part of town. Come to find out, it's a couple of blocks away from where I live. It's here in the mighty 45th State House District. It's a Black-owned business. It's a small business. I support small businesses. I support Black businesses. So I went over there. I had a great time. I didn't do it to offend anybody because some of our people are now having some issues with Vicky Bar and Grill. But I'm going to support small businesses. I'm going to support Black businesses. I'm definitely going to support businesses that are here in my district that I hope to represent in the General Assembly. And so we had a great time. I got over there. It got to be, I think I got there, it was after 9 o'clock when I got there. Then it wound up being 10 o'clock. Then I remembered, oh my goodness, I'm supposed to be at home giving my nightly report to the people. Well, I was at the Bar and Grill. I wasn't drunk, anything like that, but I could not do the report. So that's why I didn't do the report yesterday. So today, what did we do on the campaign trail today? Today, I got a few more signatures. I'm going to need approximately 250 signatures to get my name on the ballot. You can turn in no more than 3 times the amount of what you need. So I couldn't turn in more than 750 without disqualifying myself. My goal is to get approximately 500 good signatures, turn them in so that no matter what sort of trickery or foolishness or chicanery that they try to pull to get me tossed off the ballot, I'm going to be there in November. I'm confident that we are going to get the signatures that we need. And I don't feel so bad because I've been out and about. And for those of you in Toledo, in the Toledo area, Lucas County, you might know the name Sandy Spang. And Sandy is going to run as a independent for a county commissioner, even though she's a Republican, even though I'm technically a Democrat. Right now I'm a registered Democrat, but I'm running as an independent. I don't have to get nearly as many signatures as she gets. And so I saw her people out the other day. They're still out there getting signatures. And Sandy is like a big shot business owner. You know, she got a whole bunch of money and she got a whole bunch of people in her organization and volunteers. And then she can pay people to go get signatures too. So I know that I've heard from some of you personally. You worried, Nate, when you gonna turn the signatures in? Nate, I want you to see your name on the ballot. You know, a lot of people ain't gonna listen to what you're saying until you actually turn them signatures in. And if y'all can listen to Sandy Spang without having her name actually on the ballot as an independent for county commissioner, y'all can listen to me too. And so so I did get a few signatures. I wanted to let y'all know not to panic. We have plenty of time to get those signatures, and we're gonna get them and turn them in. What else? I'm looking at the clock. I'm over 15 minutes now talking. I got with Twitter a little late. I did make mass copies of this. We're going to turn it out. Somebody told me that on Twitter, these come out backwards. So if I hold something up to the camera, that it comes out backwards on Twitter. Can some of y'all, I see I still got 2 people with me live. Is this backwards on Facebook? I'm holding up to the camera that's on Facebook. It don't let me see. Unfortunately, I can't tell who's with me live, but I can tell it's 2 people who are with me live. Can y'all just either hit the wave or hit the thumbs up or type in yes or something? Can you see this? Is it backwards if I hold it up? Because in the coming days, I might want to hold stuff up to the camera until I can figure out how to really get high tech and actually put it on the screen in place of the camera. Yes, it's backwards. Yes, it's backwards, or yes, you can see it. So could you read this, for example? I see Joy said yes, but I don't know. William Hunter. Hey, William Hunter, can you read this? Janice Patterson, how you doing? It's backwards. Oh, let me try something there. And we still in the trial and error phase. Let me see something. What if I do it like this? Do it like this. First of all, can you see me? See, now I can't see your comments. What I did was turn the phone around. But I'll do this and then I'll come back. So could you read this now? And let me see what I'm going to do. I think what I'm going to do is... I'll go back and look at the comments later on. But I can't see your comments right now. I thank you all for participating with me. We're going to work this out. And I think this is going to be one of the best things that this campaign ever did. I got to flip the camera back around. All right. Yes, now it's read. Okay. Thank you so much, Joy Taylor. Yeah, maybe I can pull this up on my... So I've got 2 screens that I'm working with here. So maybe I can pull it up on the screen. I'll figure it out. Y'all got any questions for me as far as the campaign, as far as anything going on in Toledo? I'll take questions. If not, man, having these cameras on and these lights, it actually makes it hot up in this little office too. I don't like that. I got to figure that out. But if I feel like if I turn on the fan, then that'll be too noisy. And so I got to work that out too. I think I have gave a shout out or a wave to everybody who tuned in. Again, I want to thank y'all. In the coming weeks, hi Nate, I'm enjoying your live videos and accompany you on the campaign. Oh, thank you for saying that. You know, you never know, are people liking this? Is it a good idea? Is it a waste of time? So I thank you very much for saying that, Janice. I think in the coming days, I will be asking people to do a little more. I met a brother last night in Vicky's Bar and Grill. He agreed to be a volunteer. He said we talked for no more than 15, 20 minutes. And he said, man, I'm excited to see what you're doing. He told me he knows a whole bunch of people over in a part of my district. He wants to help me out. He wants to be a volunteer. And so I may have to, it's actually a little out of my character to ask people for help, but I can't do this by myself. And so I may be coming to you. I may ask folk for some donations. I hate to do it, but sometimes you got to do it. I may ask people for technical help. You know, if I know you have a different skill, a certain skill set, I may be asking you for some help. And I may be just asking you to spread the word. I've been real reluctant to raise money until all my signatures are turned in, because I want to make sure that people know that this is for real. And I also wanted to have my website up before I did any sort of a fundraising thing, just because, you know, I'll link it with my PayPal account or whatever type of setup I've got. So I do have my financing together. I've got a bank account established. I've got a treasurer. I've got an account with the Secretary of State. And so I'm working the behind the scenes. And this week was all about hitting the ground and sort of really getting the campaign up and moving and seeing, you know, could I make it and work a few issues, develop a few issues. And then I wanted to have the town hall meeting, which we did have yesterday. So I think this has been a very productive week. I think it's been a good week. And I'm looking forward to next week. I've got some things in the works, and we just gonna keep working it all the way from now until November. And I want you all to go with me on this journey. So from today on the campaign trail is how I'm going to be doing my little blurbs. Oh, one more thing that I did do this week. I set up a separate Facebook page. It's just a campaign page. And I'm not so sure. A lot of these politicians, they have multiple Facebook pages. Some have a bit. I've seen some people with a business page or a nonprofit page, and then they have their political page, and then they have their personal page. And what I think they do is they usually lock people out of the personal page who they don't actually know personally, and make them pick and choose between the business page or the campaign page. I don't want to do that, but I don't want to double post everything either. So that's something I'm just, you know, kicking around in my mind to figure out what's the best way to do it. But I did do that also this week. I think we got a lot accomplished. Again, I'm hoping that everybody will come with me on this journey. And I also hope that if you see me doing something, you say, Nate, that ain't right. Nate, you getting off base. Nate, I don't like that. Nate, you know, I hope that you will let me know, because even though I've run one time before, it wasn't a real campaign, and it was more or less what we call a protest campaign. And so I want to run a campaign that I'm proud of, that you all are proud of, and that, you know, my mother and father would be proud of, that everybody's proud of. So the only way I can know if you're proud of the campaign that I'm running, or that especially if you helping me that we're running, is if you give me some feedback. And so I'm not thin-skinned. I can take criticism. I can take whether it's constructive criticism or whether it's non-constructive criticism. I can take it. But I need you to help me know. I need you to help me know where I'm slipping. All right. So Janet says, absolutely. All right. So I want to make sure I made that point. And Larry Williams, you're doing a great job, man. You done came from the bottom up. The dream is real. Yes, sir. So that's all I've got for tonight. I want to thank y'all for watching, and I'm gonna sign off now. All right, hey. Y'all give me just a minute. We live now on Facebook, at YouTube.